Bienvenue à notre conférence de presse où le SPVM fera le point sur la présence policière en vue du 7 octobre. Tel que mentionné précédemment, il y aura d'abord une présentation en français puis en anglais. Nous passerons ensuite à une période de questions en français puis en anglais. Des entrevues pourront être accordées après la conférence de presse. Lors de la conférence de presse, 2 personnes vont prendre la parole. M. Vincent Richer, directeur adjoint et chef de la direction des services organisationnels, et M. Mohammed Bouhdid, inspecteur-chef au sein de la direction des services de proximité. Sans plus tarder, je cède la parole à M. Richer. M. Richer.
Bonjour à toutes et à tous. Merci d'avoir répondu à notre invitation ce matin. À l'approche du 7 octobre, le SPVM est conscient que les événements au Moyen-Orient, de même que les diverses activités de manifestation prévues à Montréal dans les prochains jours, ont un impact sur le sentiment de sécurité de la population et plus particulièrement sur les membres de la communauté juive et arabo-musulmane. Le SPVM tient à se faire rassurant. Nous comprenons bien leurs inquiétudes et nous le prenons au sérieux. Nous avons des contacts réguliers avec nos partenaires des autres organisations policières, tant au niveau provincial que fédéral, afin de suivre l'évolution de la situation sur le terrain et être prêts à faire face à toute éventualité. Les membres de la direction ainsi que les responsables des postes de quartier sont en lien avec les communautés juives et arabo-musulmanes, et ce, depuis le début du conflit. Afin de répondre aux inquiétudes soulevées récemment quant au 7 octobre et à l'évolution de la situation au Moyen-Orient, un plan de visibilité a été mis en place depuis le 1er octobre dans différents secteurs afin de renforcer le sentiment de sécurité. Des effectifs supplémentaires ont été déployés 24 heures sur 24, 7 jours sur 7, et une attention particulière est donnée aux certains endroits significatifs pour ces communautés. Les policiers en civil effectuent également de la surveillance. Nous invitons les gens à ne pas changer leurs habitudes et à maintenir les activités prévues. Les effectifs nécessaires sont présents sur le terrain afin de maintenir le sentiment de sécurité de tous. Le plan de visibilité a d'ailleurs déjà donné porté fruit. C'est des résultats concrets, excusez-moi. 5 suspects ont été arrêtés en possession de matériel incendiaire dans la nuit du 1er au 2 octobre, soit 2 adultes et 3 mineurs, dans Côte-Saint-Luc et dans l'arrondissement Côte-des-Neiges, Notre-Dame-de-Grâce. Nous tenons à saluer la vigilance de nos patrouilleurs ainsi que de nos partenaires qui ont permis de faire ces arrestations.
Merci, M. Richer. La parole est à vous, M. Bouhdid.
Depuis le début du conflit, plusieurs crimes et incidents haineux nous ont été rapportés. En date du 1er octobre, 41 personnes ont fait l'objet d'un dossier d'accusation. Le nombre d'événements rapportés, toutefois, a diminué de façon significative au cours des 3 derniers mois. Au cours des 3 derniers mois, c'est 27 crimes et incidents haineux qui nous ont été rapportés pour un total de 288 événements. Les démarches d'enquête se poursuivent et nous tenons à réitérer notre appel aux membres de la communauté juive et arabo-musulmane de contacter le 911 ou à se présenter à leur poste de quartier pour dénoncer toute situation portant atteinte à leur sécurité. Concernant les manifestations prévues au cours des prochains jours, nous tenons à rappeler l'importance que nous accordons au droit de manifester dans le respect des lois et règlements en vigueur. Il s'agit d'une question de sécurité, mais aussi de respect. Depuis le 7 octobre 2023, 345 manifestations se sont déroulées sur le territoire de Montréal, en lien avec le conflit. La grande majorité de ces événements se sont déroulés de façon pacifique. Et nous invitons les gens à poursuivre dans cette voie. Montréal est une ville sécuritaire et nous appelons à la collaboration de tous et de toutes afin qu'elle le demeure. Toutefois, si des gestes de nature violente ou criminelle doivent être posés, soyez assurés que nous n'hésiterons pas à intervenir et à procéder à des arrestations. Les unités nécessaires seront mobilisées sur le terrain afin de faire face à toute éventualité. Nous ajusterons nos actions en fonction de l'évolution de la situation, mais aucun compromis ne sera fait pour maintenir le sentiment de sécurité de toutes les populations. Nous avons d'ailleurs procédé à ce jour à plus de 100 arrestations lors des manifestations en lien avec ce conflit. Et nous en ferons d'autres si nécessaire.
En terminant, nous souhaitons rappeler que le SPVM est présent et est engagée en toute neutralité à protéger toutes les populations. Nous réitérons notre appel à des actions pacifiques, mais nous tenons également à souligner que nous allons intervenir si la situation le requiert. Nous allons déployer tous les efforts nécessaires pour sécuriser les citoyens et les citoyennes, la sécurité de la population montréalaise, particulièrement des communautés juives et arabo-musulmanes, est une priorité pour le SPVM. Merci beaucoup.
Merci. And now, we will start the English part of the press conference with Monsieur Richer's speech. Monsieur Richer?
Thank you. Good morning to you all. Thank you for accepting our invitation this morning. As October 7 approaches, the SPVM is aware that events in the Middle East, as well as the various demonstrations planned in Montreal over the next few days, are having an impact on the public sense of security, and more particularly on members of the Jewish and Arab Muslim communities. The SPVM would like to reassure you that we understand their concern and are taking them seriously. We are in regular contact with our partners in other police forces and the intelligence community, both at a provincial and federal level, to monitor developments of the situation on the ground, to be ready to deal with all possibilities. Members of the direction of the service, as well as the chief of the concerned neighborhood police stations, have been in contact with the Jewish and Arab Muslim communities since the beginning of the conflicts. In response to concern about October 7 and the recent developments in the Middle East, a visibility plan was put into place on October 1st in various sectors to reinforce the sense of security. Additional staff are being deployed 24/7, and special attention is being paid to concerned locations that are significant for these communities. Undercover police officers are also on duty. We encourage people to maintain their normal routine and activities. The necessary manpower is on the ground to maintain everyone's sense of security. The visibility plan has already produced concrete results. 5 suspects were arrested in possession of incendiary material on the night of October 1st to 2nd, including 2 adults and 3 minors in Côte-Saint-Luc and the Côte-des-Neiges borough. We salute the vigilancy of our patrols officer and our partners who made these arrests possible.
Thank you, Monsieur Richer. Monsieur Bouhdid, if you please.
Yes, since the beginning of the conflict, several hate crimes and incidents have been reported to us. As of October 1st, 41 people have been charged. However, the number of events have fallen significantly in the recent months. Over the last 3 months, 27 hate crimes and incidents have been reported to us for a total of 288. Investigations are continuing, and we would like to reiterate our appeal to members of the Jewish and Arab Muslim communities to contact 911 or go to their local police station to report any situation that threatens their safety. With regard to the demonstrations planned over the next few days, we would like to reiterate the importance we attach to the right to demonstrate in compliance with the laws and regulations in force. It's a question of safety, but also of respect. Since October 7, 2023, 345 demonstrations have taken place in Montreal in connection with the conflict. The vast majority of these events have taken place peacefully. Montreal is a safe city, and we call everyone to work together to keep it that way. However, should any violent or criminal acts be committed, rest assured that we will not hesitate to intervene and make arrests. The necessary units will be mobilized on the ground to deal with any eventuality. We will adjust our action as the situation evolves, but no compromise will be made to maintain the sense of security of all populations. To date, we have made over 100 arrests during demonstration linked to the conflict, and we will make more if necessary.
In closing, we wish to reiterate that the SPVM is present and committed in complete neutrality to protecting all population. We reiterate all call for peaceful action but we also like to emphasize that we will intervene if the situation requires it. We will make every effort to ensure the safety of our citizens, the safety of Montreal population, particularly the Jewish and Arab Muslim communities, is a priority for the SPVM. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Nous allons maintenant procéder à la période de questions en français. S'il vous plaît, me faire signe avant de poser votre question et de vous identifier ainsi que votre média. Merci.
Est-ce qu'on a droit à plusieurs questions, une seule question?
Une seule question à la fois. Vous pouvez revenir
Okay.
par après. Merci.
OK, parfait. Mon nom, c'est Mégane Foy. Je suis de la presse. Je voulais savoir, demain, il va y avoir une manifestation. Est-ce qu'on peut la comparer à une manifestation qui a déjà eu lieu? On s'attend à combien de personnes à peu près?
Bien, l'évaluation du nombre de personnes, ça, c'est toujours en cours, puis on s'ajuste selon les données qu'on va avoir comme information. Par contre, c'est sûr qu'on sait que le niveau de tension augmente au niveau international. Ce niveau de tension-là a un impact au niveau local, ça, c'est sûr et certain. Donc, l'objectif pour le SPVM, c'est d'être présent en nombre suffisant pour nous permettre d'intervenir si jamais la manifestation se dégrade.
Est-ce qu'on peut la comparer à une manifestation qui a déjà eu lieu il y a un an, par exemple, ou dans l'année en cours?
C'est très difficile à
C'est
dire.
dur.
Qu'est-ce qu'on a vu dans les dernières semaines? Il y a une augmentation du nombre de manifestants à l'approche du 7 octobre. Donc, on s'attend à ce que la manifestation de demain soit quand même importante.
Puis, est-ce que vous... En fait, vous avez parlé d'arrestations durant les manifestations dans les dernières années, une centaine.
Oui.
C'est des arrestations liées à quoi?
Bien, il y a plusieurs types d'arrestations. Ça peut être des voies de fait, ça peut être des méfaits aussi.
Okay.
Donc, les arrestations sont de différentes natures, mais on a fait plus de 100 dans la dernière année dans le cadre de ces manifestations-là.
Puis, quels secteurs ont été renforcés? Je sais que vous avez mentionné qu'il y a des secteurs aussi qui ont justement eu plus d'effectifs.
En fait, écoutez, la vigilance a été demandée sur l'ensemble du territoire. C'est certain qu'il y a une attention particulière pour des quartiers, je vous dirais une douzaine de postes de quartier qui ont un peu plus de synagogues, un peu plus de mosquées, qui vont être un peu plus impactés que les autres postes de quartier. Donc, on a une douzaine de postes de quartier où on a dédié des ressources supplémentaires pour l'anniversaire du 7 octobre et pour la suite également.
Je comprends. Sinon, autrement, j'aurais une dernière question. J'ai pas le choix de vous le demander. Ce matin, il y a eu un feu dans le Vieux-Montréal.
Oui.
Est-ce que vous avez un bilan des décès, des blessés?
Non, pas encore. Il faut dire
dévoiler.
que l'incendie s'est déclaré en fait à 2h40 ce matin. Il y a eu un appel au 911. Le service des incendies est intervenu rapidement, mais comme vous avez pu le voir, l'incendie est encore en cours, donc il est trop tôt pour nous pour commenter.
Bien, je vous remercie.
Merci.
Est-ce que je peux poser ma question ici, juste pour la caméra, pour que l'angle soit un petit peu plus direct vers nous?
Oui, il n'y a pas de problème.
Je suis de Radio-Canada. Essentiellement, vous vous préparez à quel scénario pour lundi? Est-ce que vous anticipez sérieusement des menaces, des débordements, des gestes haineux?
Bien, l'évaluation qu'on fait, c'est en continu, puis l'organisation doit d'être agile. Donc, ça évolue jusqu'au dernier moment. On s'attend à des manifestations d'importance lundi, puis on prévoit les effectifs nécessaires pour répondre à ces manifestations-là. Pour le moment, je vous dirais qu'on va se préparer jusqu'à lundi pour ces événements-là. Au cours du week-end, il y a d'autres manifestations aussi. Donc, on va être en opération continue pour les prochains jours. Ça, c'est sûr et certain. Puis, le déploiement des effectifs va être de façon importante, effectivement. Puis, on va avoir différents types de personnel qui va être sur le terrain pour être en visibilité ou aussi pour assurer le contrôle des foules si jamais on a besoin d'intervenir.
Et lundi, c'est d'encadrer les manifestations, puis c'est aussi de suivre votre temps de visibilité, fait de patrouiller un petit peu plus dans les quartiers où effectivement il y a plus de synagogues et de mosquées.
Oui, effectivement. Le plan de visibilité va se poursuivre pour les 24 prochains jours. Donc, ça, c'est la base pour les prochaines semaines. C'est important de dire qu'on est en contact avec les différentes communautés pour être présent aux bons endroits, au bon moment aussi, pour rassurer la population, mais aussi, comme on l'a vu dans les derniers jours, bien, aussi de procéder à des arrestations. Donc, on a un double objectif. s'assurer une présence rassurante, mais aussi si on a besoin d'intervenir pour faire des arrestations, on va être présent aussi.
Avec Berger, pour TVA, je vais faire la même chose pour notre caméra. En fait, je veux savoir, est-ce qu'on s'attend à ce qu'il y ait des contre-manifestations également, qu'il y ait des conflits peut-être entre les deux parties auxquels on doit se préparer?
Ça, c'est une possibilité qu'on évalue, c'est sûr. On l'a vu dans certaines manifestations qu'il y a eu des contre-manifestations. C'est sûr qu'au niveau des services policiers, ça rend la situation plus complexe, mais on se prépare à cette éventualité-là pour les prochains jours, effectivement.
Et quelles actions pourraient peut-être être prises si jamais ça vient à y avoir des débordements?
Bien là, on va intervenir selon ce à quoi on fait face. C'est sûr, s'il y a des actes criminels qui sont commis, à ce moment-là, on va intervenir pour cesser la manifestation. Mais quand on cesse une manifestation, quand on arrête une manifestation, on bascule en intervention. Bien, il faut se préparer, il faut attendre le bon moment, puis avoir les effectifs nécessaires. Présentement, avec la préparation qu'on a, on va avoir les effectifs nécessaires, mais il y a toujours une question de timing sur quand on intervient.
Et j'aimerais juste savoir aussi, est-ce qu'on s'attend, parce que là, on voit sur les réseaux sociaux qu'il y aura des manifestations demain, il y en a qui étaient supposés avoir lieu lundi, qui vont peut-être être annulées, qui vont peut-être avoir lieu. C'est quoi la journée qui sera peut-être la plus charnière selon vous, ou est-ce que du moins vous le savez?
Bien, en fait, on se prépare à toute éventualité. Donc, ce week-end, oui, il va y avoir des manifestations. Lundi, il y a des manifestations qui sont prévues aussi, puis la semaine prochaine aussi. Donc, pour nous, on se prépare à toute éventualité. Donc, si jamais il y a des événements qui sont annulés, bien, on va avoir été prêt, mais on suit l'évolution de la situation selon les renseignements qu'on a.
D'autres questions en français? And now, we will start the question period in English. Please give me a sign before asking your question and identify yourself and your media. Please.
Oh, I want to look at the camera.
You want us to look at the camera, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you do that even if I stand there? It's really
Okay.
hard to get around. I have a loud voice, no? Okay. Lauren McCallum with CBC. First, we'll start with your preparations. You mentioned it in general. Can you give us an idea what communities, both Arab Muslim communities and Jewish communities, you will be really focusing on? And with an added thing, not all attacks on these two communities have taken place at religious institutions. We've seen grocery stores, so what will you be doing in that context?
Well, like you said, we will focus on specific neighborhoods where we have a larger community, Jewish community, and arabo-musulmane community. But like you said, there's a focus on culte, le lieu de culte, religious places, but also all the environment. Sorry. So yeah, basically we're going to be more visible in those areas to have a reassuring presence, more visibility to increase the sense of security of the population. And basically this is it. And we also ask the people if they are witness of any unusual comportement to call us. We need your help to make the community safer. So.
And if I can add, it's important for us to be in contact with the communities, for them to inform us where is our presence the more significant and more pertinent. So that's one of the measures that have been taking place since the beginning of the conflict. So we're in regular contact, and there's also an analysis that is being made on our hate crimes. So that's another measure that we take to make sure that our police officers are there at the right time, at the right place.
Okay. Now, we know not that long ago in Ormstown, there was an arrest of a suspect wanted in the U.S. for trying to plan a terrorist attack on this day. How concerned should Montrealers be, whether they're Jewish or Arab or any of those religions?
Well, we have to be vigilant. I would be lying to say there's not tension right now, as I said before, at an international level, but at a local level also. And the events that are at an international level has an impact at the local level. So we have to be concerned, but the population can feel safe because we're present. Our visibility plan is one of the measures that was taking place. And we want to be agile also. So if something takes place elsewhere in Canada or internationally, we're going to reevaluate the measures for us to be more present if it's necessary.
Okay. And lastly, I have to ask about the fire, too. In English, we're hearing things that the building was owned by the same owner of the other. We have the documentation to show that it's the same owner. We've heard there could possibly be deaths also caused by this. The fire was too hot to get inside. Where are you in the investigation, and what do you expect to come of that as the déroulement happens throughout the day?
Yeah, of course, right now the fire is not over. So the firemen are still working on the fire. So for us, it's too early to make any comments on that situation, because the way it works, we have to control the fire. That's the first thing. And after that, our investigation is going to start. But of course, we have the necessary manpower of investigator to take charge as soon as the fire is under control.
Merci.
Hi, Alicia Rubertucci from City News Montreal. So you said you've been on the ground for the last year. I guess, what are you expecting for the coming days? I guess, how different is the presence going to be over the next week?
Well, as we said before, there's a visibility plan that's going to be put into place. It's already into place, actually. So you can expect more police presence on the ground dedicated to visibility. So these police officers are not there to answer 911 calls. They're there just to be visible. So that's the first part. And as we said, we have underground police officers also that are on the ground to try to make arrest if there's a suspect or if there's a situation that is going on. There's the Jewish holidays right now that are taking place. So we were in contact with the different communities, also the Jewish community, to understand how to better our visibility in this time of tension, because there's a lot of tension right now. So we want to make sure to have a reassuring police presence.
You mentioned the 5 arrests of the people possessing incendiary materials. Did you make officially that link to the conflict, because you just mentioned it?
There's a link that's being made with the conflict. So when there was arrest that was taking, it was 2 separate incidents, and we did make a link to this conflict.
So they were planning to use that material at synagogues?
The investigation is still going on, but that's our hypothesis for now.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Joe Journal, Canadian Press.
Yep.
Joe, see. So just to follow up on the last question, if the link was made with the conflict in the Middle East and there were incendiary devices, how come they were let go?
Well, that's the procedure. The criminal procedure is that way. So there's going to be some accusation later on, but we still have some investigation to be done with these suspects.
Is there any way to assure that if they were planning something that won't happen between now and the time that they appear in court, and the process, the procedure of the justice system does its work?
Well, there's some conditions. So they were released with conditions. So there's certain conditions that were made for these individuals. I won't go through these conditions here, but there are some conditions. So they have legal engagement with certain conditions for these people.
In terms of police stepping up their presence across the city, is it possible to put numbers to how many officers are being mobilized since October 1st and the next few days, just to get an idea of the scale of the presence?
We don't give this information because we want to make sure that our strategies are for the police services. But I can reassure you that we have a significant number of police officers that are present, both with visibility and both regarding the different protests that are going to take place in the next couple of days.
Have there been any specific credible threats that you have been notified of, the SPVM has been notified of in the next coming days that have prompted some of this, the stepping up of police presence?
Well, there's just some tension. The conflict is bringing more and more tension, and that has an effect at the local level. And as we said before, we're in contact also with our partners at a national level. So every 2 weeks we meet to talk about this conflict. And as the tension is going on, we have to be more present to reassure the population that they are safe in Montreal.
Just to clarify, when you said 41 arrests since October, we're talking about just a few days ago, right? 41 arrests. There's been 41 arrests since.
That's regarding hate incident crimes.
Hate crimes,
Yeah.
okay. Do you have the figures in front of you, how many hate crimes there have been since October 7 last year? Right?
That's from last year, exactly.
Yeah. So 288.
288 since
Yeah.
last year?
Yeah.
Okay. And just going back to the 5 people who were arrested, are those being investigated as possible hate crimes?
That's our special team. They have to make the link between their action and the possible hate crime. So that's something that we're looking in right now.
Okay, so it's possible, but it's not there yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, if I could just ask, we've heard over the past year, there's been a lot of, as you said, a lot of protests. Most of them were peaceful. I've heard a lot from different protesters speaking to them, saying that a lot of them have said, a lot of them have accused the police of being overly aggressive in dealing with them. Some people saying that they've been injured by police officers. So I was wondering if you could speak to some of those concerns that from protesters saying that they will basically have been, manhandled or treated aggressively, I guess they would be one way of putting it. By police.
Well, we adapt our intervention to what is going on in front of us. So of course, when there's mischief or there's assaults that are going on, the police officers have to proceed to arrest. And when you have a large crowd, sometimes it's difficult to do these arrests, but we have to do arrests. The population is also asking us to intervene so they can feel safe. So we did have some arrests during these protests, so we're around more than 100 arrests. But I have to reiterate that most of these protests have been done peacefully, and we hope for the next couple of days that it will be still peaceful for these protests, and we encourage people to protest, but peacefully.
Si je peux poser une question en français pour mes collègues à la presse canadienne.
C'est correct.
Ça va être concernant les 5 arrestations. Alors, c'est la même question, juste en français. Si ça va être investigué comme crime de haine et pourquoi ils ont été
Libérés.
Libérés, oui.
Ouais. En fait, on est en train d'analyser si jamais ces crimes-là sont considérés comme des crimes haineux. Donc, notre équipe de spécialistes fait l'analyse présentement de cet événement-là. Et en fait, avec la libération des suspects, c'est dans le processus judiciaire où on doit libérer les gens pour porter des accusations par la suite. Donc, l'enquête se poursuit dans ce dossier-là.
Merci beaucoup.
Messieurs, ce serait possible de rapprocher vos micros, s'il vous plaît. Merci.
Bonjour, hi, René Boomer, Montreal Gazette. Will you be stepping up patrols or security around universities, given that they've been the scene of protests and whatnot in the past year?
Yeah, yes, they are part of our plan, visibility plan, so we will be more visible around a few universities. Yes.
Okay. Can you say whether Montreal Police Intelligence has brought to light any plans for violence this weekend? Has anything like that come up?
Well, the information that we have, that's our strategies that we keep for ourselves, actually, because this information is going to help us to evaluate how many police officers that we're going to put on the ground. So that's something that we do, and we're very attentive to this, and we have to be agile. So when we get some information, we're going to augment the number of police officers, or if we have positive information, we can go also the other way and lessen the number of police officers that are needed on the ground.
Okay. And can I ask you to repeat the numbers on hate crimes? I was a little confused as to when.
Yes, since the beginning of the conflict, we have 41 people charged regarding hate crimes. Yes.
Okay.
The number of incidents, like I said, we saw a decrease in the last few months. So we had 27 in the last 3 months, but since the beginning, it's a total of 288 events, incident and crime hate crime.
Thanks very much.
I'm sorry, I'm still confused.
Well, the difference between a hate crime and
41, the 200 and something, does the 20-something include the 41?
Okay, so 41 arrests, okay?
And charge?
Yes, exactly, charge. And regarding the events, okay, so that doesn't mean they have been charged, put it on those dossiers yet, but we have, since the beginning, 288 events.
That's the beginning,
Yes,
October 7th,
yes.
2023?
Since last year, exactly.
Okay, and the 23 that you mentioned?
27, that's for the last 3 months, just to show you that there's a decrease on the number of depositions.
So 41 charged since 2023, October 27th, charged,
Yes.
288 incidents, you're still looking into some of them, and 23 from the last 3 months.
20,
Charged?
27.
23.
27
No.
complaint. Yeah,
Complaint.
sorry.
Complaints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean that there's charge on it.
What we're trying to show is that at the beginning of the conflicts, there was a spike in the number of hate crime and hate incidents. But since the last 3 months, these numbers have gone down. Now, there's the 7th of October that's coming up. We don't know what's going to be happening in the next few days, but the numbers have been going down for the last 3 months. And also, the protests, the number of protesters in the last 3 months did go down. Now we see that there's going up again. So we anticipate that this weekend and next week, we're going to have more protesters on the ground.
Summer is over.
Exactly.
Matt Grillo with CTV News. If there are people in both communities who may be worried over the next few days, maybe feel like they can't live a regular life, or they just maybe don't feel as safe, and they're extremely worried as we approach Monday, what would you tell them? What would you say to them?
Well, we want to tell them to continue to live their life. We want to tell them that for Montreal Police, it's a priority for us to be on the ground to help them feel safe. So that's why we put into place a visibility plans for the next 24 days. And as I told you before, we're going to adapt that visibility plan to what's going on at a local level, at a national level, and at an international level also. Because we know that what's going on in the conflict in the Middle East affects the safety of the population in Montreal. So we want them to feel safe in Montreal. That's why we're putting a lot of effort for them to have this sentiment de sécurité.
We know with some protesters and some protests, communication isn't always clear, and they don't always make their intentions very clear. Are you guys prepared for perhaps like a pop-up protest that wasn't necessarily planned, that wasn't known about?
That's why we work a lot with intelligence to see if a protest is announced, and we evaluate the number of people that the protesters that's going to be on the ground. Of course, we always over-evaluate the numbers to make sure that we have enough police officers on the ground. But it's not impossible that a limited number of people decide to make a protest, and for us, it's hard to have this information, so it's a possibility.
Okay, thank you.
But I have to reiterate that the police officers on the ground, so our regular police officers, can answer that call, and we have also our group d'intervention that are there on the ground to respond to these protests that can be a surprise protest, let's say.
Are we going to have officers actually stationed at religious institutions, or is it just more patrolling?
We don't want police officers to be stationed
Static.
without moving around, because that's not a good way to ensure the visibility of our police officers. So it's very limited. If you stay parked in front of an address, you're going to impact a limited number of the population. If you move around and to make sure to be present at the right time, at the right moment, then we augment the feeling of security.
Okay, thanks.
Nous allons vous envoyer les chiffres en passant. To avoid confusion, we'll send you the numbers, arrests, and hate and incident crimes, okay? So just letting you know. Mesdames, Messieurs, merci beaucoup d'avoir répondu à notre invitation. Pour ceux et celles qui désirent réaliser une entrevue individuelle, merci de vous présenter à l'avant de la salle. That concludes the press conference. For those who wish to have an individual interview, please come to the front of the room. Thank you for coming.